8 and 9. The next day, Till asked the Archduke to allow him to see all the courtiers who were to be painted along with him. They came and saw him one by one. The first to come was the commander-in-chief of the army. He was a short, fat, bald man with an enormous paunch. He whispered in Till's ear, "When you paint my picture, remember you are to make me look handsome. If you do not make my stomach look flat, I will have you hanged. Remember, I was once a very handsome soldier." An elderly lady came next. She had a large hump on her back. "Sir Painter," she said softly, "make me look young and beautiful. If you don't remove the hump on my back and supply what I lack in beauty, I will have you torn to pieces." A young lady, who was the companion of the Duchess, came in as soon as the old lady left. She was young and pretty, but had lost three of her front teeth in an accident. She warned Till that if in her picture she didn't see herself smiling with a perfect set of pearly teeth, she would have him cut into small bits by her lover. She pointed to the captain of the guards. Similar requests and threats continued until he had finished with the last of the courtiers. Then the Archduke sent for him and said, "My dear fellow, I want your portrait to be perfect in every detail. You are to paint all my courtiers exactly as we see them. If you leave out a mole, a pimple, or a single grey hair, I will have you slaughtered like a pig." So here, Till asked Archduke to allow him to see all the courtiers. He requested Archduke that he wanted to see all the courtiers who are to be painted in order to understand their features. And the Archduke ordered all the courtiers to be present before time. And so all the courtiers visited Till one by one. So who were the characters newly introduced in these paragraphs? First one, a commander-in-chief. A commander-in-chief who was a fat and bald man, very short, fat and bald man with an enormous punch. An enormous means very big in size, a big stomach. And then came an elderly lady who had a hump on her back. Then came a young lady who was the companion, means a very dear friend who accompanies the Duchess all the time. She came. So these were the characters introduced in this paragraph. And all these courtiers demanded to paint their picture very perfectly, in a very beautiful manner in the portrait. They demanded to paint their picture more beautifully than what they really are. First came the commander-in-chief of the army. And what were his features, his characteristics? He was a short, fat and bald man with an enormous punch. And what was his demand? He wanted to make his picture look handsome and make his stomach look flat. Otherwise, he will hang Till. He wanted Till that he will hang him. Then an elderly lady came. She had a large hump on her back, and what was her demand? She demanded Till to make her look young and beautiful, and to remove the hump on her back and supply what she lacked in beauty. That was her demand. And then the third one was a young lady who was the companion of the Duchess, and she was very young and pretty, but she had lost three of her front teeth in an accident. So she wanted that to paint her in order to see herself smiling with a perfect set of pearly teeth. Otherwise, she would have him cut into small bits by her lover. And who was her lover mentioned here? The captain of the guards was her lover that she mentioned here in this paragraph. Then similar requests and threats were continued. And then the Archduke sent for Till and said that he wanted to portray the picture of his courtiers to be perfect in every detail. That The Archduke had a desire. And what was his desire? The Archduke desired to paint the portrait, his portrait to be perfect in every detail. And he wanted to wanted to paint his court, all the painters, the way they are exactly look like, the way they look like exactly, or what they look like in real. And he wanted that if he left out a mole, a pimple, or a single detail, then he will slaughter him like a pig. Slaughter means to kill in a very cruel manner. So the Archduke wanted that if he leave out any single detail of the cortege while painting the picture, he will have him slaughtered like a pig. And he wanted to make the picture of his cortege to be perfect in every detail, and he wanted to see them all in exactly as the way they look like. Now, what were the demands of the Archduke and the courtiers in painting their picture? The Archduke asked Till to paint everyone as they were, but the courtiers demanded Till to paint them beautifully without depicting any of their imperfections. So now, an activity from page number 70, activity 2. The courtiers did not want to be portrayed in the picture in the manner they really look like. Complete the following table by revisiting the story. So the characters, the courtiers, were given here: the commander-in-chief, elderly lady, and young lady. And we have to write down their real appearances, what they really look like, each character. So we have to write the real appearance of each character in the first column, and the way they wanted to be portrayed should be written in the third column. This is your assignment for today's session.